Coming to you from the Deep South, this is the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast. High-impact leadership is not reserved for leaders, and it has nothing to do with your position, title, or rank. However, it does have everything to do with your character. It's time to climb to the next level and beyond, personally and professionally. Now, let's start making it happen with your host, Mac Story.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I want to talk about when you develop yourself for that opportunity that you want, the next opportunity. I talked about that a little bit in the last episode, that the opportunity you want is already out there. It may or may not be in the company you're working in today, but it's out there. Someone's getting hired for the position you want every day. We live in a very large country, in a very large world. So what you want is already out there. I mean, it's really that easy. You know, people that think it's not that easy are the ones who are making excuses for why it's so hard, and they're never going to get there. So everyone's busy, right? Most people, what I've seen, and there's nothing wrong with this, you need to do what I'm about to say. Most people who want to get ahead, they try to get ahead at work. Not everybody, but the majority of people. They go in and they try to do an outstanding job, above and beyond. That is definitely a high impact player. If you're leading other people, that's a high impact leader. It's what you want to do. You should be doing that anyway. And if you do that, you're going to be seen as an exceptional team member, regardless of your title, position, rank, that sort of thing. But while you're there doing that, you're doing your job, and you have to do the job. That's what someone's paying you to do, a job. So do it to the best of your ability. To me, that's a given if you want to excel in life. And I'm going to just use the numbers that, you know, people talk about working 9 to 5 all the time. So I'm just going to use those numbers to keep it simple. All I'm saying is when you're at work, and I'm going to say that's 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Although you may work absolutely some different hours, but play along with me for a minute. So most people work hard from 9 to 5 to get ahead. That's how they try to get promoted. That's how they try to get raises. All this type of stuff. What they do from 9 to 5. I'm here to tell you today, if you want to launch yourself like a rocket, regardless of your current position, title, rank, all that stuff I always talk about, you don't try to get ahead between 9 to 5. You're going to do an outstanding job, like I just mentioned, between 9 to 5. But when you're really wanting to accelerate and get ahead of the crowd, it's going to be from 5 to 9. That's right, 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. And what I'm saying there is whenever you're not at work. That's when you launch yourself like a rocket. For me personally, that's when I read most of the books that allowed me to be doing what I'm doing today. I was a consultant, and I was being hired by companies to work, including my time and travel. It was usually 50 to 70 hours a week I was working. They didn't hire me to read leadership books. They hired me to lead teams and improve processes. So how did I become a leadership development speaker, trainer, author, all this stuff that I do today? It wasn't what I was doing from 9 to 5. It was what I was doing from 5 to 9 after work. Again, I applied it from 9 to 5 and excelled in the field that I was in, built great relationships with people, got great results. That's a given. Again, if you're going to be a rock star, you got to do that. But if you want to be a truly exceptional, amazing individual who's leading your own life, taking yourself wherever it is you want to go, you got to work hard on yourself from 5 to 9 when you get off. That's when I was reading all the books I was reading. And then I was taking it and applying it from 9 to 5, figuring out how do I apply it and get great results so that later when I'm talking and teaching about it, I can talk about the results that I've got. So whatever it is, you may not want to do what I want to do, but how do you become an expert in whatever it is you want to do? And again, you may be doing it today. Let's just simplify it. Whatever you're doing today, imagine there's 2 people and you're one of them. So imagine you're doing a rock star job, out of this park on the job, you're considered a rock star. A+. You scored 100 out of 100. Now let's say there's somebody else doing the same exact thing you're doing. You're a rock star. I mean, they are a rock star. You are as well. Both of you, 100 out of 100 at work, getting results, whatever that means. But your competition from 5 to 9, they're actually passionate about what they're doing. They're not just doing a good job because they're trying to get ahead at work. They're actually passionate about what they're doing. So they're reading and studying a lot of additional information, which makes them be the rock star they are at work. But it's obvious their reach is far beyond yours because they've got tons of extra knowledge. Both of you have the knowledge you need to do the job, but your competition has a lot more knowledge. And they stick out and they can contribute in ways beyond their job. People ask them questions about other things, therefore they have more influence. So now let's say someone was going to get promoted, or someone was going to get a raise, or the two of you were applying for the same exact job in another department or another plant or a different company within your same organization or an external organization. Everything's equal, except for when you get off from 5 to 9, you ain't worried about work. You're just hanging out, watch TV, have drinks with your friends, enjoy the weekend, come back to work, do an amazing job. The other person, they do an amazing job at work. When they get off, they're passionate about growth, personal growth. They read leadership books, personal growth and development books. They also read competency books related to whatever the field is they're working in. And they still enjoy life and have some fun, but they mix in a lot of their passion for growth and development. So now let's say you're the person, you're going to hire or promote one of these two people, yourself or the other person. Who gets the promotion? It's common sense. The person who's doing an amazing job at work, but who is also gung-ho from 5 to 9 when they get off of work because they're growing and developing themselves. That's the answer every time. So what you got to ask yourself, are you that person? If you're not, that's okay. But I'm telling you, those other people are out there. They may not be standing beside you at work in a scenario like I just said, where there's two of you on the same team. But whatever it is you want, that person is out there. They're hungry. They feed themselves from 5 to 9. They high performers from 9 to 5, but they also high performers from 5 to 9. And for me, again, that's when I went to college. I hated high school. I said I'd never go back to college, and I didn't go to college until I was 25. But when I went to college, I wasn't going while I was at work. I went to college after work. I was working full time, and I was working 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I was doing it when I wasn't at work. Most people who don't go straight to college, a lot of blue-collar people who decide later on they want to get hungry and go do something, that's another one of them things they have to do from 5 to 9. In other words, when they're not at work. That's when you get college degrees. That's when you get certificates. That's when you read books. Again, you don't have to go to college. You imagine right now if you read 100 books in the last 5 years relative to whatever it is you're passionate about, whether it's what you're doing now or what you wish you were doing. Imagine how far ahead you would be if you had read that many books. Say you read a book a month. That's 12 books a year. 5 years, you read actually 60 books, not 100. I'm going to use a different example. But imagine if you going in, you've done the character work, and you're passionate about what you do, and you've done a good job where you work, so you got good references. People liked you. And now you've been pouring into yourself. Most of the people who walk in, and I would highly advise you, if you're going to start reading books and you're working in what I call the regular world where you have a boss, the corporate world where people are hiring you, promoting you, you're going to job interviews, keep a list of these books. Make it an additional page when you turn in a resume or that sort of thing. Because it says, and write down the authors and the date that you read it. Because it says, hey, this person is focused on developing themselves. They're going to be an asset to my team. far beyond what I'm going to do. They're going to do their own part. And then you're going to attract people who value that. So remember this, and I've talked about it the whole episode. What happens from 9 to 5 is important. But what happens from 5 to 9 is far more important relative to your growth and development in your career. So get out there and make it happen. Because if you don't make it happen, someone else will. But it might as well be you. Have a great day. Talk to you next time.
Make it happen or someone else will. It might as well be you. Are you serious about taking your career and your life to the next level and beyond? Check out Mac Story's Blue Collar Leadership series books and others, now available on audio, along with paperback and ebooks at Amazon, iTunes, and Audible. Please visit bluecollarleadership.com to learn about Mac's books, programs, special offers, certifications, and more. Thank you for listening to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast.